Now it's time for 10 Fun Facts. Today's 10 Fun Facts is brought to you by the last fuzz on Earth. Fun fact number one. 11 pieces of original music were composed and recorded for... Sorry. Now, I have to be honest, one of these pieces of music was just a bunch of sound effects I threw together. Another one of these pieces of music was something. I used it and then pulled it out of there, flipped it around, and put it back in backwards in reverse, which is a little trick I learned from Adrian Ballou. Sorry. The third cheater song was something that was in there and I really liked it. I thought, this would work really well for the ending. So I split it down the middle and flipped it like that. That way the bass solo kind of came at the end of the first part, which synced up really well with what was going on screen. And then I multi-tracked a bunch of single notes, which sounded like a pipe organ with some reverb. And that worked great for the ending. I added up all of the folders, all of the source files, including the individual tracks for the songs. It's 14.5 gigabytes. 418 sound effects were individually synced, edited, volume adjusted, some were affected. When I put the first sound effect in there, it was like the car driving out. I thought, I might be getting in a little, and I was right. I did not have a real lot of sound effects to work with. There's a lot of repeats, a lot of pitch shifting going on. The Army guys, I had one boot camp guy who's yelling out, a lot of reverb too. And so all of those shouts are basically like left and right, If you're hearing anything else, that's just your imagination, because I heard a lot of variations. And the spooky sounds of Halloween, the drowning guy, that saved me for the vocals, the speech. It's 1.2 gig worth of sound effects, which does not really sound like a lot. Then you consider, a lot of them are like only a couple seconds or less, and they're MP3s. So it's a lot of sound effects. A lot of sound effects. Now this was 21 days of work, and these aren't 4-hour, these were like long, like 12, 18, like sun coming up. And I really didn't have too many. The recording, I was really motivated. Something like this, I really get motivated to stretch out. Thank you so much to Debbie Ever for her inspiring work and for this OK Fuzz. To be cherished, loved, and used. I learned a lot. I recorded a lot of music I never would have, stuff I never would have done. There was 4 guitars that I used for the recording, and 1 movie. Now, the movie's called The Last Man on Earth, a film from 1964, starring the man, Vincent Price. Now, it's a very interesting fun fact. There are 3 versions of this movie. Around 2005, maybe, Will Smith did something called I Am Legend, which is the name of the novel written by Richard Matheson in 1954. Now, there's another version, mid-70s, probably early 70s, I'm going to say. Charlton Heston, called The Omega Man, a honky paradise with his gadgets and his gizmos. That's an awesome movie. I saw that, I was probably, I was 5 or 6 years old. And I wasn't too weird of a kid, but I couldn't wait for the end of the world. And talk about an uplifting ending. So it's a public domain movie, The Last Man on Earth, the Vincent Price one. You pretty much already, if you sat through the demo, but all 3 of these really, and I'll tell you this, we saw I Am Legend in the theater, Mike Patton did the vocal effects for the zombies. And there's this scene where these infected rats start making all this noise in their cages, and I just lost it. I burst out laughing. Sounded exactly like something from Mr. Bungle or Fantomas. And a couple of people in the theater looked over me like, what? I mean, everyone was like repulsed. You know,